We all have experienced the beauty of falling in love, having someone close to us, some close relationship, and an intimate bond with someone, isn't it? And we also have experienced that same beautiful feeling of being in love and being intimate with someone has faded away, has disappeared, or sometimes even worse, has turned into some negativity like jealousy, bitterness, and sometimes even hatred. I can't live without you often turns into I can't live with you. I can't stand you. So one question that haunts the whole mankind is how to maintain that love, how to maintain that intimacy, how to maintain that beautiful feeling of being in love and not let it turn into jealousy and hatred and anger and fear. So let's first see what breaks intimacy. The first point here is ego or taking a stand. And sometimes what happens, we lose good friends because of this attitude of sticking to one stand and not ready to accept that someone has some other opposite opinion than us. Does not lead anywhere, first of all. One thing just keeps leading to the other, and you lose the relationship, and the argument is also never won, isn't it? So this is one of the reasons to break intimacy. The second is obsession with your own desire. Now, when you are obsessed with a desire, people who are addicted to different substances or habits, they lose respect, they lose charm. Such a person, I tell you, it is impossible for that person to maintain intimacy with anyone, because people start moving away from such people. The third point is taking intimacy for granted. The people who are closest to us normally are those people whom we take completely for granted. Now what happens when we take this amazing love and blessings and the care that we get from these people, from the loved ones to us, if we take it for granted, we will never feel gratitude for it. And when gratitude is lost from our life, the feeling of intimacy is also lost. See, normally when you feel very close, in the beginning, when you are in love with someone, you notice there is a sense of gratitude also. Oh, I am so lucky to have this person in my life. And the moment you take it for granted after some period of time, just know that the intimacy is also lost. So this sense of gratitude will keep the intimacy. And when does that happen? When we don't take the love that we receive, the care that we have received in our life, when we don't take it for granted. The fourth point is finding imperfection in oneself or others. The fifth point is expectations, and then insensitivity or oversensitivity. Often perfectionist people do this mistake. Like my dad is a perfectionist. He's very intelligent, very sharp, and very efficient. He's a very high pace of working. As a kid, when I started working with him, when he used to teach me chess and other organizing, I used to help him in organizing the tournaments of chess tournaments and all such things. It used to become very difficult at times because I could not match his pace and I would do silly mistakes, small mistakes. And his expectations from me were very high. As normally parents have a lot of expectations from their kids. Now what happens, all the expectations cannot be met all the time, isn't it? So the moment the expectations is crashed, once Gurudev has said, in true love there are no heartbreaks. A broken heart means broken demands, broken hopes and broken expectations, isn't it? So these expectations, when you are stuck to your expectations from the other person, and we want perfection from everyone else, we don't give space for imperfection in our relationships. That leads to insensitivity. Our communication becomes very harsh. Then we say such things that we regret later. Haven't we experienced this? We feel guilty. Then Gurudev says a lack of vivek or vairagya, discretion or dispassion. So vivek often leads to vairagya. What is vivek? Just knowing that everything is changing, everything is impermanent. When we have this basic understanding that sab kuch badal raha hai, then all the people's words, their actions, what they do, what they don't do, all the events, we don't give over importance to them. We hold on to that sense of intimacy and love and care. We don't care who is right, who is wrong, who said what. All this soap opera that happens, And then in relationships we try to fix them. We discuss events. The biggest mistake. Who was right, who was wrong. What we call that? Troubleshooting meetings. In troubleshooting meetings, no trouble gets reduced. Trouble actually increases and only shooting happens. Isn't it? So, when there is Vivek and Vairagya in your life, then we can take life lightly, not too seriously. This will also help us to maintain intimacy. And then judgments. Judgments are inevitable. But again, when we hold on to the judgments and label people as everybody is bad, everybody is useless, nobody is trustworthy these days, and all these things, then you can never feel that sense of trust also in anyone, and forget about intimacy. Intimacy brings a no-mindedness in you, where the mind dissolves and you experience the vastness. It brings you to the moment. But the moment you let go of the events, know that everybody, if they are said something nasty to you, did some mistake, it is because of some stresses in their own system. So you don't hold the other person responsible. Just know that that person is also somewhere a victim of his own mind, own emotions, own circumstances, so that we can forgive and forget and move on. Look beyond the events. This is very important. So here again, Gurudev talks about meditation, because when we practice meditation, the grip of the past loosens up. And when we can look, really authentically start looking beyond the events. So be magnanimous. Have a broader perspective of life. Do not complain and engage in creative activities. See, when your energy is channelized in something creative, you also get saved from falling into obsessions and all these negative habits of complaining and grumbling and looking at what is not there, what is missing in my life. Appreciate others and make it a habit to uplift their enthusiasm and make room to accommodate flaws. See, we all have a dustbin in our house now. It is that dustbin that helps us to keep our house clean. It's the most important object. And what is there in the dustbin? Do you have any great expectations from what is there in the dustbin? No, because we are mentally totally accepted that all the kachra, garbage is going to be put here. In the same way, in every relationship, if we can have a dustbin. Okay, this person is not punctual. Okay, this person has this habit of, snapping, or this person is always a little bit stressed. What do you do? Collect all that and accommodate the flaws. Put it in that dustbin. Make room or make space for imperfection in life. This is the definition of perfection. What is perfection? Accommodating imperfection. When you love someone, the last piece of advice is, you take it for granted that they love you too. One of the biggest pressure for a person is for him or her to prove that that person loves you. When you keep judging and always demanding for proof, that person wants to run away. If you want to avoid all these complications, what is the best thing to do? You just take it for granted that you are loved, everybody loves you. Then you will not demand for proof. And the person will feel very comfortable in your presence. So you feel grateful for the intimacy that you experience in life, and at the same time take for granted that everyone loves you. This is the golden formula that Gurudev has given us to maintain intimacy.